Greetings, and welcome to my channel. I'm the Anunnaki theorist. For those of you that have subscribed to my channel before, I'm back after 4 years. The cosmos has really turned my life on its head, and actually for the better. I'm able to produce my videos again because my life has actually gotten a whole lot better than what it was when I first started the channel. Now, because it has been 4 years, I am going to do what a lot of movie production companies have been doing lately, and I'm going to reboot the channel. And by rebooting the channel, I'm actually going to take us back. I'm going to take us back to the beginning, and I'm not talking about the beginning of, the Anunnaki, the way that Zecharia Sitchin puts it. No, I'm going to bring us all the way back to the basics, and the basics would be the etymology of Anunnaki. Now, there are several translations and interpretations that can be used for the Anunnaki, but there are 3 that I'm going to talk about here. The first one is going to be the mainstream academic view and definition of the Anunnaki. And we're going to come here to Wikipedia. Again, Wikipedia is a great place for compiling information. And as long as there are citations within Wikipedia, since anybody can edit, post to Wikipedia, but as long as there's citations, then if you have a problem with something that's said, you go to those citations and you look for yourself. Just like with anything, you look for yourself. But anyway, the first interpretation of Anunnaki, and for me this would be Anunnaki small a, unless of course you're talking about a specific person and this is essentially a title. But Anunnaki is interpreted or translated into princely offspring, or offspring of An. So what we have to think of Anunnaki small a is when you're talking about someone who is of royal blood, somebody royal. And that's the way that mainstream academia tells us is, this is taken from a lexicon or a dictionary, an Akkadian dictionary of Sumerian words, and this is what they say that it means. Anunnaki means princely offspring. Some also interpret it as of princely blood or of the blood. But again, it just means of a royal line. Now, Zecharia Sitchin, this is the second interpretation of Anunnaki. Zecharia Sitchin, he looks at it as Anunnaki is 3 words in one. You have Anu, and Anu is either the king of the gods, the Lord of heaven, the heavenly father, so on and so forth, or it means sky or heaven. So he teaches us that, Anunnaki means those from heaven to earth came. That's his interpretation of Anunnaki. And this is how he does it. Anu, heaven, then Na is an English preposition. Na in English would mean to, for, by, of, at, etc. It's a preposition. And the way that he looks at it is Na is to. So we have Anu, heaven, Na, 2, and then Ki. And Ki is the sign for Earth. So the way that Sitchin puts it, Anunnaki is 3 words in one: Anu, heaven; Na, 2, Ki, earth. Those from heaven to earth came. Now, where he gets the rest of that, I don't know. But heaven to earth. And that would be talking about the beings that could possibly have come down from heaven or out of the sky or space, came to either create mankind or at least influence mankind. And of course, we're talking about extraterrestrials here. Now, the final interpretation that I'm going to go with is the word Anunnaki is actually only used in a very, very, very few texts. Unless, of course, it's talking about a royal individual. But Anunnaki as in gods. Mostly, the gods were known as the Annuna. And the Annuna, we see here in, it's essentially a parable. It's one of the stories that have been translated from the many hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of cuneiform clay tablets. But this is one of the ones that was translated, and we see up here it says, "and spawned the Annuna gods." This is what they were called. They were called the Annuna. But if we look down here, it says, "At this time, at the place of the gods' formation, in their own home on the holy mound." Now, the holy mound, this could be a mountain. I mean, if we look at like the Greek gods, they were on Mount Olympus. It was a holy mound. But a lot of times, this holy mound is actually interpreted as heaven in the sky. So, when they're in the sky, they are the Annuna. But when they come to Earth, they are the Anunnaki. And again, here's another example of where we see they called them the Annuna gods. But again, they're in heaven. When they come to Earth, then they are the Anunnaki. Now, as I said, there's only a few, very, very few places where Anunnaki, meaning the gods, is actually used. And one of those is in one of the very important epics. And that's the Anumalish, the epic of creation. And here highlighted, I show the Anunnaki. This is one of the very few places where Anunnaki is used to say a god. Now, there are a lot of people that they kind of have a problem with the Anumalish being about planets. Even though when you read it, some of the things that are in there wouldn't make sense if they were, just beings, if they were just people. But if you put it in the context of them being planets, then it makes sense. But there you go. There are the 3 interpretations of the etymology of the Anunnaki. Now, I'm going to put all the links for these various sites that you can go to, and you can look for yourself. Because as I've always said, don't just take anybody's word for anything. An authority figure, a religious figure, an academic figure, No, go and look for yourself. That way you can draw your own conclusions and you can come to your own truth. Remember, none of these are facts. The only facts that are here are that we have the texts. That's the only facts that we have. What's written in the texts? Who knows? I, being the Anunnaki theorist, hope that it's true. But again, I'm just giving you a possibility. But I encourage you, please, the links will be in the description. Go and look at these things for yourself. I'm the Anunnaki theorist. Enjoy.